My name is Jessica.
My name is Paul Purcell. I'm 59 years old.
I'm 33 years old.
I've been working here at The Escapist since March 2011.
And I work here about a year and a half.
This is the first time I've worked in a place where everybody that comes in is in a great mood because they're buying comic books. I'm probably even more an avid reader of comic books since I started working here.
The name The Escapist Comics Bookstore comes from a number of sources. Most obviously from the character The Escapist from the novel The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon. The store is kind of a tribute to Michael Chabon. He lives in this neighborhood. It was believed that, if we connected the store to him in some way, that he would become a part of the store. When the store opened, we were leaving our previous location on Shattuck, back when we were called Comic Relief. And so it's like we escaped from that old location and found new ground here in South Berkeley, North Oakland.
We probably have, kids in the afternoon. A lot of kids come after school, or, parents come drop them off and they come and sit and read comics. Wednesdays is New Comic Day. That would be our busiest day. Saturdays, Sundays are a busier day.
A little more business. Yeah, we've had a little more business since I started working here. Yeah, we sometimes get a lot of people. We're a small store, and we don't do a lot of business in general because we're sort of off the beaten track.
We are off the beaten path. We have to be the destination. We have to get people to come into the store because they want to be here, not because, it's a comic book store, I'll check that out. People have to come here knowing that this is that we're where they want to buy their comics. We are significantly smaller in terms of just floor space. We cram everything vintage up in this attic, and all the new stuff downstairs, and it's, we're all the way up to the ceilings with product, which is great, and it makes the store feel like very full and boisterous, but also it's difficult to navigate.
We decide that we're going to do some project around here. Maybe we'll get to it about 3 weeks after we decided to do it. And maybe a few weeks after that, it'll get done. The extra things that need to be done. It can be really busy. You spend a lot of time talking to customers, helping them out. Somebody comes in, and the next thing you know, you're talking about comics, what you like best about them, what's your favorite story, or what is a good story for them to read.
Definitely say we have the biggest all-age section for kids, but most of those are actually graphic novels these days. When I was very little, my dad had a huge collection of detective comics, which I continued growing up.
Well, I can remember reading Little Lotta and Hot Stuff when I was really little.
It's been great, having a dad to introduce me to comics and not be pigeonholed also into that, girls should only read girly comics or something like that. No, I grew up reading Batman. Yeah, I still call him and be like, guess what came out today? And I'll pick up this graphic novel for you.
I've just been a fan forever. They've piled up in the bathroom when I was a kid, and my father would read them, and then if the pile fell over, he'd throw the stack out saying it was a mess. I remember really, really enjoying them even more so when Spider-Man started. That was my first superhero comic.
I always loved Batman. I gravitated towards X-Men because I had Storm and Rogue and people like that to look up to, so I thought that was great being a girl.
When I try to clean up in my house and I find an old box of comics, I stop cleaning up and I start reading the comic and remembering what a thrill it was to read it when I first read it and why I kept it. From the moment I picked up a little kid's comic, I was pretty much hooked.
Comics, definitely from books to start there. Obviously have pictures, but Just like, yeah, I mean, you think about like storyboarding and the storytelling, it's just a little easier to get into, especially the artists they have these days. I mean, there's beautiful artwork.
The big part for me is enjoying artwork. I'm a big fan of the artwork, but I will look at bad artwork if the story's really great.
You're always finding new talent. And, you know, a great way to get kids into reading. I mean, we always have parents coming in like, oh, my child doesn't really like reading so much. Can you please suggest something that will help them? They're just making better comics for kids too, I think, to help with that.
Something I heard Jack Kirby, the comic book artist who created the Fantastic Four, sorry Stan, he said it was like he could make any movie he wanted and have any special effect he wanted and not have a giant budget to make it happen. Your creativity is not limited when you're working in comic books because you don't have to worry about what it's costing.
In the future, the store, we're soldiering on. We're not worried about going out of business or losing anything.
Well, I think we have a really great selection of different types of books. Like graphic novels, we have, I think, the biggest selection, like I said, in the East Bay, probably.
We have a number of early issues of Justice League of America, back when the team was first formed after their appearance in Brave and the Bold. First appearances of characters like Dr. Destiny and Felix Faust, people who, you know, characters that are still employed and show up in the comics today.
We try to carry a lot of independent publishers. I just went to Boston and went to like 3 different comic book stores while I was there, and their indie sections were like this big. They were so tiny, and they didn't have like half of what we have here. So that actually made me feel really good about what we were carrying and what we were doing for people here.
We have a number of a pretty great collection of 70s X-Men, which I consider to be the best part of X-Men comics. Like when Wolverine and Nightcrawler and Storm and Colossus joined the team, we have a lot of that. Including X-Men 94, their first appearance in the main series.
Last time we counted for our new comics, we had 450 new titles on our wall over there. We also carry smaller press stuff over there, as well as all the superhero and all the Image titles, and we try to do our best to keep all of that in stock. We also have the biggest all ages section, including, you know, manga and everything that, you know, strips. Sonic the Hedgehog to Amulet to Bone.
I'd imagine it'll be business as usual for many years to come. No, I think we're here for the duration.